Let's tackle this beast. I'm taking a break from my vlog. I'm going to take the time to actually explain something that I think most people are dealing with. Anyways, I'm gonna take time to actually properly explain it, and I'm not sure if it's universal for all air kits, but this is gonna be for the Airlift Performance 3P. Now, the 3H is the exact same setup. The only difference is that there's going to be height sensor attachments, which I do not have, and I'm not gonna even go into because honestly, I really don't know how that works. But I figured that we would be able to, since I'm pretty sure I figured it out, how to do the basic wiring, since the instructions that come with it are a little bit confusing, especially when they put other pieces attached to the pieces that you're supposed to be using, and then you're just like, how do I do this? So I'm going to disattach some things, get this wiring harness as lined up as possible. Now keep in mind, I already ran, I didn't plug anything in. So the wiring harness that you get when you come with your pack, which has the plug into the module, that has the power connectors, has the pink wire, which is gonna go to your fuse box, and also your additional attachments, which will power the compressor. This is all that's ran right now currently. There's nothing attached or pre-done. It's all kind of hanging around. Now granted, I did plug in the power for the module, so that's the only thing that's really connected currently, but we still have, and I know this looks intimidating, this is a mess, trust me, I get it, but just hang in there with me. So this will be a relay ground, which will probably, honestly it's up to you, but just make sure you ground it to somewhere in the car. I'm probably gonna end up self-tapping it into the side of the walls here, since I took out all of the interior for the trunk. I want to make this as quick and simple for you guys as possible, so I'll drill that in later, but really I think put this in anywhere you feel necessary you would like to go. It really doesn't matter as long as it's secure to some part of the chassis. These are going to, oh Jesus, these are going to be your power connectors, which are going to go into your compressor. Now your compressor also comes with these basic lines. To be honest with you, it's a little confusing for me. I'll get to that later. What we're focusing on is these pieces. So we will put the heat shrink connector butts to these two, crimp them, and make sure they're connected. We're gonna have to cut off a little bit of that excess that's there. And then that extra piece down there that you see, the little red tab, that would be a first secondary if you're running two compressors. Now, I am not yet. It's very smart to have two compressors in case one fails. That way you're not stuck, and I need to get on that. So I'm gonna grab some tools and then we'll get started, and hopefully I'll have enough light for you guys to see exactly what I'm doing. Basically, in order to do the wiring up here, you're gonna need two tools. So to kick it off is you're gonna need something to be able to splice the wiring, be able to cut the rubber piece around it. This tool just happens to have two razors in there that stop at a certain point so you're not cutting through the copper wires. And also has a little thing where you can actually pull it in there, but we're not gonna use this one because it's kind of garbage. The other one is this. So you're gonna have a crimp tool, be able to crimp your heat butt, or sorry, your heat shrink butts that are gonna be connecting your wires, and then also this little device right here, which will grab the pieces and pull them. This is gonna be for people who don't know anything about electrical wiring, which I honestly don't know much either, but if I know this, then you kind of have to know this. I recommend you do this before you wire the car, but you're gonna be able to see two ends of the harness. One is going to include this little pink wire. This little pink wire is also gonna have on this end your two power wires, which are gonna go to your battery. Now, we'll get to these in a second, but what you're gonna do is basically take off that little pink strip there, wire it together, and then we're going to insert it into the fuse. Ignore the power wire right now. Your fuse is going to look like this. It's going to be this little basic piece. It has a little blue crimp piece on the end that we're going to put it in here and crimp it together. It also comes with a fuse, which is in the baggie I'm gonna have to grab, and then I'll show you we're gonna put that one in as well. This is gonna go to anywhere, any fuse that basically is gonna be activated when you turn on your ignition. So as soon as you put the key in and you turn it, of any car, this is universal guys, and it's going to start your compressor, and it's going to give your module power, and you're going to be able to do what you need to do with this. So that's one done. Make sure it's secure and it doesn't actually move it around or anything like that. You can go ahead and set that aside, just set it down for now. I'll be right back. I'm actually gonna grab a fuse and then I'm gonna just put that in there. So go ahead and put that in there. All right, make sure it's between the two slots, and there you go. Now it's all good to go. So to confirm, I'm pretty sure that the other fuse is if you're running 2 compressors, so we'll save it to the side. So then next will be the positive wire. In that case, it includes this one. There's be a red wire with a fuse attachment to it. Basically, these are pre-cut, so they have a little thing, you just pull it right off, and it's pretty much good to go. On the other hand, the actual power wire, so it didn't get all messed up, I guess they just left it open just in case you want to run it somewhere else. So my memory card got full, was able to crimp this together. Now we'll heat shrink this at the very end. We'll just do everything, make sure we're good to go there. But underneath this is the fuse, and they supply you with a 30A fuse. It's nice and green. Actually, it's actually pushed back in there so you guys can see what it is. So you just get that out of the baggie, put it in this one. This is your power line, so I don't know how much I need to reiterate because I don't know how much was actually recorded. So red power line, we're going to the positive. You're gonna take this long red wired fuse extension and crimp it over with a larger diameter heat shrink butt. Put on that 30A fuse and cap it up to make sure it's nice and waterproof. So that would be it for those at least fuse extensions. Next is going to be the actual connection that's going to go to the battery terminal. Now in order to do that, you're going to need ground eyelets. So you're going to get 2 of these. They have yellow tabs on the bottom, and they're super easy to tell what they are because here you go. Take off this little tip here, slide it in, crimp it down, and we'll do that for that one. And then also cut off the negative terminal and do it again with this eyelet. Then it'll be ready to go straight to the battery, receive power, but I'm also going to be waiting for a little bit because I have to install some things here and there and also go to the back and do the relay. So. there you go. Get your 2. So good to go there. Then you're pretty much done with the front. You can just plug this in a bit, but then your wiring is ready for, at least for power and activation. So next we're just gonna go to the back and we'll deal with all the relay stuff. Compressor comes like this, very obvious. I don't know if you guys can see it. So like this. I haven't even gotten to the mounting stuff. In fact, I'm gonna skip over the mounting because everything is done in a certain way. If you guys want to check that out, watch the end of the vlog when I do the full kit install. It comes with like this. It has a quick connect option for the positive, and then also has a eyelet here for the ground. So if you wanted to just ground it to the car, you can, or if you wanted to, you can do this as well. But since we ran these wires in front to the battery, I'm going to be removing this, and I'm going to be removing the quick connect because I don't have any quick connect options and it doesn't come with any. With that said, with what it does come with is some major heat shrink butts that we've already used before. So these 2 will be used to, basically we're gonna remove this and we're gonna remove this, and we're going to put them both on and get them ready to wire directly to the harness, in which we only have 1, which comes with 2 of these. This is actually coming from the back. So this is the other end of the harness, the power supply. There's also a relay here, which we'll just bolt into the car. And then the other piece goes into the module. I want to get these things done first so that we can actually get this compressor some power as soon as we link it into the battery. So next, we're gonna do the exact same thing, but to the wiring harness on the other side. So I got it, but I did fuck up, so I used an extra little piece that got it there. This is what's left of my shitty one that I really did not do a very good job on. Basics is basically just fucking toss it. It's all fucked up. So got these though, they're all connected, so now the compressor is wired from that harness. It should be pretty easy for you guys to tell exactly which wires needed to come through, because they're going to be the only ones coming to the back from this big ass harness that you wire through. At this point, everything should be wired. Everything should be beautiful. Just looking at everything that we got going on in here. Just gotta take this and then ground it. Should be fine. If you have two compressors, you're gonna use this relay right here, this little extra that is attached to the wiring that we just did that goes to the compressor. And you're going to use that nice clip extra to do the other compressor. I only have one, so we'll do that later. The last thing you need to do on these crimps is get a lighter, get a heat gun, get a torch, get anything with heat, and quickly go over all these heat shrink crimps. All of these pieces. This right here, this right here, and it'll melt down and create a seal so it's watertight, so you don't have to deal with any. It seals it, you're good. This is what you would do if you were to install all your wiring harness, so you know where it's at and exactly where it goes. But I would recommend doing this before you wire your car. What we did is we got our power cable, which goes to the front here, and this will go to your battery when that's ready. Heat shrink it all down, and then we'll attach it to the battery. Positive goes to black goes to negative, positive goes to red. Everybody should know that. If you don't, there you go, you just learned something. Using this extension to the red cable here with the fuse that comes with the kit, you're gonna put that 30A fuse that comes with it into this slot, and then you're gonna cook this to your battery. The other one is a little pink wire that's also gonna come up to the front. This is going to be your connection for your fuse box. Now, I've noticed that some people have their ignition fuse inside the car underneath the dash, which is very possible, and I might look into it and might just rerun mine inside along with my USB, which went underneath my dash and out into vents. So that's all personal preference. That's just wiring a certain way, and then it's plug and play. It's obvious which one's which, but where you put this is up to you. I'm probably gonna put it in the fuse box up here. If not, pull it back through and wire it up and underneath the dash and find ignition fuse. Yeah, so I'm gonna do that probably a little bit later. Every car is different. This is just universal plug and play for pretty much any car. So where these things go, where you set everything up is completely up to you. Whether you just want to do it quick and cheap and make it happen, or if you want to make this thing SEMA ready and you want to wire tuck, you want to place everything perfectly in the specific spot where people can't even find it. That's up to you. So we got that done. So the wires for me run underneath my fender here, up into this little panel which you can pop off for the Subarus, and then it goes down with the power line which goes underneath the door trim over here. So you guys can get a look. That's actually one of the wires right there. And it goes all the way down. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it goes all the way down. And then underneath here is where my fuse box is, so I might reroute that. Other than that, the power cable goes here. The other one I put underneath and put behind this, and it's coming out right here. So this is where my controller is. I'm just gonna get a little magnet and attach it to this little piece right here so I can use it nice and easy right next to my vents. The rest goes underneath. I wired underneath this trim. I pulled out the staples and put the wiring underneath the carpet. Took out the panel here to the door side, comes under here, and then I fed it through, which this is down. You can barely see it. This is down, but the wires now come up through here and then go this way. So these are all the wirings go underneath these back seat, which pull down, and then they slip through these cracks back here and go straight into the trunk. Remember to do this on the driver's side. Always do the driver's side. So here comes your harness. Like I mentioned before, don't let this get confused. This is actually part of the air system, so ignore that. But these little extra pieces, you might freak out and say, what the fuck are those? Those are the height sensor connections, which I don't have. So if you have them, sorry, find another video. Never done them before. I don't know how. I'm assuming it's a quick plug and play. And then main power cable, which would go to the module. There it is right there, pretty easily. You can see. Second bunch of wires, which is gonna be for the compressors. There's the extra relay in order to move it for another compressor. Other than that, you just crimp these together after removing a couple pieces, which is what I did. Go straight to compressor. Compressor is now ready to be bolted in, and air hose connected up. That's a whole other story. Your relay, mount this somewhere, which will ground it, and I think you're pretty much done. As soon as I drill that in, that's all of it. All the wiring, I did it. The most scariest thing I could think of that I was gonna have to do was wiring, and I did it, and it's done. Finish the compressor connections to the tank, and then as soon as I hardline those wires to the battery, I think we're good. The airbag system will then be in function. So until next time, guys, hopefully this helps you guys out if you're installing a bags. If it did, please like the video and subscribe to kind of check up on the future videos that I did, and especially with this AirRide suspension. If you guys haven't seen this car before, on like Instagram or something like that, this is my baby. If you have seen it on Instagram, well, this is me doing shit to it. So I appreciate you guys watching. Seriously, I really hope this was helpful and informational for you guys and make it a little bit easier, because I know the instructions are god awful with Airlift. No offense, Airlift. This will make it easier for you. This will convince you to buy Airlift suspension, because the wiring is always the hardest part. Make it easier for you to get it done. So until the next vlog, which will be coming up very shortly, because I'm gonna go get the other parts for this and start working on the rest of the airlines to get this thing complete. I love you guys. I appreciate it. Stay humble. We'll see you later.